verification. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me quickly share with you the agenda for today. We are going to see several technologies that are available from the partners in the VITALISE consortium and will be provided for the joint research activities. So first in our agenda is two presentations from Rosa Almeida and INTRAS regarding the Gradior cognitive and Gradior multisensorial software, and then again by Rosa the Interable prototype, the Gradior physical. So I will give the floor to Rosa for the presentation.
Hi, hello, good afternoon. Let me share my screen. Can you see it? No?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let me just say that today was to be here another colleague, Marta Garcia, that works in INTRAS SME, in charge of the plan for market of some of the prototypes co-designed by our team and users and developed by INTRAS. But she is already on vacation, so I'm taking the role. It may happen that if you want to know further details, I might not have the full knowledge of it, but then we can share the information afterwards, or if necessary, we can even have another session, specific sessions for showing these tools. So I will do a quick showing of some aspects of the Gradior cognitive and multisensorial, and after Gradior active, as mentioned by Despoina. Firstly, it's important to say that INTRAS is investing through the SME in a suite of complementary tools to support the therapists and make the rehabilitation sessions more attractive. The current focus is on supporting a comprehensive therapeutic approach by combining what you can see in the slide, cognitive, emotional, behavioral, functional, and social aspects. So Gradior Suite at the moment provides 3 tools for addressing cognitive impairments. We also count with 1 prototype to address the physical dimensions, as is commented. So these are the commercial solutions we have so far. The first 2 are already on sale, and the third will be launched in the coming months. So Gradior Cognitive for evaluation, stimulation, and rehabilitation of higher cognitive functions. Then Gradior Multisensorial for sensory stimulation and emotional regulation through immersive environments. I can say that one of the projects involving Gradior Multisensorial in its prototyping phase was with palliative services, and a small pilot with those patients in an hospital in Spain was made. Then we have the City of Memory with a more realistic intervention and immersive scenarios. This last is also to be integrated in the common, let's call patient management panel board in the Gradior suite. And this is an overview video to give you an idea of the 3 mentioned tools. I'm not quite sure if you will hear the video or I need to stop the presentation and show in a different way the video. Can you see it well?
Yes, the sound is a little bit, well, at least for me, it's strange, but yes.
So regarding the multisensorial program, the current development is with Oculus Rift glasses and depends on internet connection. But we are working, so by the end of the year, we expect to release a version for Oculus Quest 2 for autonomous operation and more natural interaction with immersive scenarios. Then we have Gradior Cognitive, that is a system made up by a website for one side for professionals for the therapist management, and by other side an app for the execution of the sessions by the users. It is supported by more than 25 years of work and studies with previous versions of Gradior based on daily practice implementation. There are more than 40 publications on it. It's a multi-device solution nowadays that can be run in a computer, tablet, or smartphone. So the professional will be able to connect with the management system from anywhere and anytime. And the patients can carry out their sessions regardless of their location. So it is there is a subversion called Gradior Comigo, Gradior with me, and can be used even offline. It has embedded intelligent algorithms that supports the therapist, advising on the adaptation of the sessions. So it takes into account the patient results, and it can also be used in an autonomous way. But normally it is used with the support of the therapist. So the therapist that will be monitoring the results and making some adjustments and using this as a supportive tool of the care plan already decided. And it offers an intuitive dashboard of results and a set of detailed reports to facilitate the clinical assessments. So it offers an activities catalog, personalized training programs with a management tool for defining it, access to 13,000 exercises from 43 cognitive submodalities. With one session, you can have performance level assessment, and with more than 8 sessions, the tool will be suggesting adjustments based on the clinical-based decision algorithms that were defined. And we already mentioned before that the study with Gradior Cognitive can focus in validation of the last functionalities developed, mostly oriented for the therapists. You can see on the right side that is available in Spanish. So if partners with Spanish-speaking countries can use it, it's okay. But there are some limitations in this sense because of the language. So I need to highlight that the process of translation and audio recording is very time-consuming, due to all the contents included. And there is a version in Greek with at least 70% of the contents translated, just for you to have this information into account, okay? So about Gradior Multisensorial, it's a therapeutical supportive tool aimed at well-being, emotional and behavioral regulation, and is based on virtual reality to work on sensorial and psychoaffective dimensions of well-being, as I mentioned before. It is oriented to awake the senses through a spontaneous interaction with immersive environments, and it is divided in 3 rooms with different therapeutic objectives. So the relaxation room, the stimulation room, and the room of emotions. I also need to say that at the end of this year, we will have that version that just require the Oculus Quest 2 headset. So it's not depending on a computer, or there will not be cables in the room for accessing this tool. And so it requires Oculus Quest 2 headsets and the Lip Motion, that is a movement tracking device. And this video shows the 3 rooms, the relaxation room designed under a Snow-Zelen approach and with some of the typical elements of this room to induce the states of calmness, relaxation. Then the stimulation room, where exercises are mostly oriented to activation, and the emotions room to work on emotional regulation based on 360 degrees videos related to nature, environment, travel, and mindfulness pills. So as this is 4 minutes and a half video, I probably will jump in some moments. So I think you are not hearing well because the sound is in the speaker, not from the computer. But here we can hear the water very gently. The relaxing sound, and then you can work with the bubbles, so you can make those going faster or going slower. And there are other things in the room, but I don't know if it is showing. Let's skip, go to the other room, stimulation room. And there are different exercises like the pull of balls. That have also some cognitive interest. You have the pool, the garden, and different scenarios as well. Room, painting room. And the room of emotions. Probably you're not hearing, but there is a audio of mindfulness pills that we recorded. Okay, so the study can be oriented to access the approach efficacy because in previous studies, those have focused more on usability and patient experience. So it also might be possible to have multi-language choice. There are very little contents written, and mindfulness pills can be also the audio provided in the different languages. About these, that is the City of Memories, I will not detail very much, but just saying that it's being also integrated in the Gradior Suite global management system that is unique for all these tools. And this video shows the main scenario, the city and the secondary ones, the supermarket, museum, and park, with different activities to work different aspects of memory and executive functions. And another related tool is also being developed to help to explore, for example, some of the new scenarios are a local fair, a cinema, approaching a bank, wall forecast, some activities that stimulate executive functions, but in a controlled environment and in a funnier way. There is a search for a treasure, also in the city. Some questions are made also through the scenario. Like, how was the color of the car that passed? This is the museum. Some memory exercises as well. And so we will leave the presentation in Teams with these details. If you want to have a look, I will not go in deeper into this information. These are the technical requirements that you can also see afterwards. Well, this is a more commercial slide, so it's not relevant here. And I want to ask you if is there anything to discuss, anything you want to ask? Can you hear me?
Rosa, it's Vicky here. Could you please repeat again? I know that you already did it last GRA meeting, but for which specific participants the different types of the Gradior tools are useful, or
So most of them are used in INTRAS clinics. So both in groups with older adults, in groups of people working in active and healthy aging programs, and then for people with mild cognitive impairment or even mild dementia normally. So with, in general, mild to moderate cognitive impairment. So just to say to you that some of these tools, so Gradior Cognitive is very easy because it's just touch the screen. The other ones with the virtual reality solutions, normally it requires accompaniment, so support from the therapist in the room, and also it requires some time to get familiarized with the exercises and learn how to use it. So normally we are using this with people with mild cognitive impairment or healthy adults, older adults.
Yes, thank you.
So I don't know, I'm not controlling the time, so maybe I should go to another.
You have 5 more minutes for the other presentation.
Yeah, this is quicker. Yeah, because the other one, I prefer to present the Gradior suite with the different tools. I thought we are more focused on the cognitive and also the multisensorial as opportunities for working out in VITALISE. in the joint research action 5. In terms of the 6, we still don't have clear. We might need to have some further meeting focused on work package 6 to have clear what to do.
Rosa, just to inform the because I see a raised hand. If you have any questions, please write it in the chat so that Rosa can see it and address it afterwards, because we have
because I can see the hands raised when I'm presenting. Thank you very much, Despoina. So regarding Gradior Active for functional recovery and physical exercise, is a rehabilitation program offered through a system for physical and cognitive training. It combines motor and cognitive tasks with independent and unrelated purposes. So to that we call dual tasking. The intervention program was specifically designed to focus on older adults, offering cognitive exercises that were validated during the years of applied research, and the controlled physical exercises that are aerobic, strength, balance, and flexibility exercises. They are combined and they are used with the support of a motion capture techniques with the Kinet. So the current version is running in Kinet version 2, but this is discontinued on the market. So we are in a scenario where further investment is required, but we need to provide evidences on the program efficacy to do so. So this is our proposal for to be worked in the joint research action 3, so the work package 7. This is a 5 minutes video, so I will jump some parts.
La imagen que le muestra el modelo.
This is the cognitive part. So I will jump some parts so you can see how some of the exercises look like. The narrative is about traveling in different places in Europe. And I think that at the end of this video, we can see a patient using it. And was... So supposedly we are in a place like Nice or something, because it's the Blue Coast. It was funny in some of the last internal events we did to show some prototypes to the INTRAS employees and some professionals of collaborative centers. We called the technology circuit of experimentation, and for this the physical prototype, there were 2 patients of INTRAS clinic explaining and helping the participants, so helping them with instructions about how to use and how to perform the exercises. For us, it's shown that I thought necessary to get familiarized with the system, and there was a particular learning process. In some cases, it was easy to reach by patients with a mild cognitive impairment. And I also need to say that this is a prototype. So the idea is to, in the study, is to focus on the efficacy, the study of the efficacy of the intervention. So that, yes, it will help to consolidate an investment plan in which we will also work in the incremental development one of the issues right now is that the hearing instructions, the audio instructions were automatically formulated, and this is not the best experience the user can have, for example, and there are other refinements that can be done. But for that reason, will be really important to perform this study, and it will also be will help probably to convince the investments required to have this therapeutical approach in a new off-the-shelf movement sensors, also considering some AI possibilities. And is the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Rosa. I think we don't have time for questions. Unfortunately, we have some time at the end, but please write at the. If you have any question, write it in.
Yeah, I can answer in the chat. Yes.
Yeah, and the presentations will be in Teams so that you can access it. Next is Pieter van Poort that will present GameBus.
Just to mention quickly that I don't have access to the chat. I don't know if my colleague Diana has.
No, me neither.
Okay.
It's because you are in another Teams environment, I think, Rosa, if you switch.
No, I just changed before the beginning of the session. I think when I'm in another project account, I can have, so I will go out and go in again, try to change the account, but this is really
yes, I will try this.
Funny because now I'm in the VITALISE Teams. Okay, so yeah.
All right. Can you see and hear me well?
Yes, Pieter, please.
Oh, great. Yeah. Hey, welcome to this demonstration of GameBus that I will give. A small disclaimer, I don't feel so very well today, so perhaps in my voice also you notice this. If at any point my face is pale, it's not because I'm uninterested. It is really simply because I don't feel so well. I think through this feeling, still you will feel a lot of motivation to transfer basically some knowledge, but also some passion about this GameBus project. And we are really eager to have many of you on board with that technology. So a bit about where I work. So you remember that Eindhoven University is a hotspot with companies like Philips, but also good collaborations with large hospitals. And then, of course, TUE is very big, and within VITALISE, we are small in the sense that we are just a specific team from a certain department. So we are the GameBus team from the Information Systems group in the Industrial Engineering department. And our aim in this project is then to offer this technology, GameBus, to those in the project, but also learn how to offer it, hopefully perpetually, so in a quite scalable way after the project. In any case, the technology is 100% academic. It's not like we are dependent on a company that could suddenly change plans and then the future use is jeopardized. And we have been using the technology already since 2015. So as you notice here also, our let's say participation to the project is in a way small, so we try to focus it. So when we say that our aim is to learn how to continue offering that platform in a more scalable way, even long after VITALISE, then I hope you understand that we have a specific interest in the work packages 2 and 3. So when yesterday we were talking about the process harmonization, our focus is then always on like, okay, which processes can we learn from other partners in the project to basically offer this GameBus technology in a more scalable way. Ultimately, we hope in a fully self-service manner. So what is GameBus? GameBus is a technology that interconnects existing platforms for health promotion. On the top, you see, for example, a system that could be word viewed, so online Sudokus, online word games, We don't quite compete with these platforms, we rather interconnect. Same on the right, you have Runkeeper, Strava, and Mondo, and I'll show you in a live demo that indeed the data from such platforms is flowing in. But then, of course, it's critical also to add value at the center. And towards the end users, that value is that GameBus adds a socialization layer. So even if your grandmother is playing word games and you totally don't like them, you just like to go for a run, in GameBus, all of this comes together. You'll together strive towards winning certain challenges and so on. And this adds to the experience of the end user. Now, to the scientist, this is also a nice enabler, because while you can, of course, already use applications like Strava to define, if you go for a premium account, to define your own healthy physical activity related, let's say, challenges, it's quite limited what you can do in such dashboards, and it is only for physical activities. In GameBus, you're more in control. You can define these challenges across the different activity types. And also, we have special widgets that we can enable or disable. And in this way, we can compare, for example, the effect of lottery dynamics in gamification systems, keeping all of the rest the same. So you have one platform that looks the same and is fair control across your different study arms. And only the artifact that you want to study, which is the effect of these lottery mechanics, is the thing that will be different. That you could never do if you were to compare totally different apps that represent the whole style. So let's say that you have a certain gamification app that happens to have these lottery mechanics, but you have to compare it with one that doesn't have it. Yeah, you're basically comparing apples and oranges. So GameBus tries to be the scientific experimentation platform, and we recommend you to explore it. So of course it's critical to know what data can really flow in then, because otherwise it's just a theoretical dream. And I've separated that in 3 categories here, 3 rows on the slide. And at the top, you see that, for example, we have integrations towards Google Fit, towards Fitbit, Strava, and then in particular also recent support where we are running our own application on Samsung watches. And that enables us to ensure that that data is going to GameBus exclusively. So unlike with Fitbit and Google Fit-like approaches, where first data travels to the States or to Asia, and then you pull it back from a web API, in this approach with the Samsung watches, we are much stronger with the European values of ensuring that the data is handled much more responsibly and not bypassing multiple commercial channels in between. So that is something that we're proud of. And you also see, again, those watches in the second row where we talk about the cognitive activities. Because yes, we pull from these watches the raw accelerometry, the raw PPG and what have you. So that's all useful to do all kinds of analyses. But also we leverage the fact that now we are capable of adding also small interactions on that smartwatch. And that we do typically to validate, so establish a ground truth in terms of a user perception. So when we do emotion analyses, we could theoretically do this just through the PPG of these watches, like indications of arousal, for example, can certainly be picked up from PPG. However, this is such recent work that you need to have the ground truth. And that also we then do through basically a self-report, an experience sampling message on the smartwatch. And that is illustrated by that animation that you see in the center. On the left of that, you see that in GameBus, in its current version, we have decided to enable crosswords within the actual GameBus application. Because you remember in the previous slide, I had this basically this model representing that we rather don't compete with, for example, WordFeud or other commercial word puzzles. But through many experiments, we learned that especially people with less of a technology interest, they actually don't insist so much on playing their own game on yet another app. Instead, they just told us it has to be all self-contained within GameBus. So that is exactly what we built. And I will give a brief live example of that. And then in the bottom, GameBus is very much based on social media ideas, meaning that we sometimes promote, for example, social walks, like a walk with colleagues. And for some people, it is actually quite attractive to then just make a picture of such a walk, and then you'll see that on a social media stream. So that is what we do in terms of social activities. All right, so, and then there are some other funded projects in which we're, for example, integrating smart bed covers for unobtrusively picking up heart rate and so. I added this just very recently because in yesterday's session, I noticed that some of you are interested in that. Well, there could be a synergy there as we are already integrating such sensors in our ecosystem. And also certain cheap weight scales and oximeters are being integrated at the very moment. As the wildcard, I would like to point you to this address, devdocsgamers.eu, because on that address you'll find instructions on how to use our, let's call it, a developer portal and add your own integrations without our intervention using our open API. All right, so then on to the live demo, and I'm sorry for that noisy aircraft that apparently is flying there. Going to Chrome, right? I hope you see my screen still, should be. Basically, I'm currently at a page where GameBus is showing my own activities. So yesterday I was very passive. You see that only a few walks were picked up, one at 7:13. And during the day I was very sedentary. And you also notice that effectively these are just data items in my calendar, so to speak. They didn't yield points. Now, the reason is not because these walks were too short. The reason is that currently I'm not subscribed to any challenge that gives me points when I make walks. Now I'm going to... One
more minute.
I'll take that into account. So what I wanted to show you then as the closing thing is that I could basically define such a challenge right now from within the application. And this is like why GameBus is a platform for which you can experiment. You can define your own challenges with your own rules, with your own types of circles and what have you. And you can then put your participants in groups using these circle mechanisms that we have and ensure that the right game rules are delivered to the right participants. Okay, I'll conclude for the sake of time, and I welcome all your questions.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for the nice presentation and for respecting the time. And if there are any questions, please write it in the chat. And also, Peter, if you could please send us your presentation or upload it in Teams so that it is available.
Yeah, no problem.
We continue with AgeWell Digital Coach by Johannes Kropf.
Yes, hello. Just a second. So can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a second. Need to show my screen still. So can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yes, good. Yeah, well, I go in short into the AgeWell project. AgeWell is a AAL joint program project, which is in its end phase, and it's about virtual coaching support, a healthy and meaningful life for older adults and employees in their retirement process. I will come back later to that. So at a glance, what we want to do is to tackle this process into the retirement with all the changes in life which are related to that, and also to tackle loneliness and this kind of things. So the motivation for us was a study performed by one of our project partners about the satisfaction of life with related to retirement, and there was a Basically, they try to group people into basically 4 clusters. Those are satisfied with retirement and dissatisfied with retirement, and how they are tackling this phase. So are they planners? Are they optimistic? Are they pessimistic? Or are they just don't plan anything and compare that with their satisfaction? So of course, with our solution, we target the people who are not very satisfied with their retirement, because the others, if they are satisfied anyway, there is no need for a lot of support. So this was the motivation. What we were aiming for is to develop a virtual coach based on an avatar-based app, a mobile app, and to also use a social robot. And we want to support mental and physical health and a healthy lifestyle when people age. So the main target was the development of the virtual companion in form of an avatar in the app, and as a more future topic, we also looked at the possibilities using a social robot. So about the robot, we have to say that initially we have planned to use a very small device, which is not mobile, but it's more a physical embodied device, small one, which is just there and talking, comparable to Amazon Alexa, something like that. So as you see on the plan, on the picture on the left, but this was not available then on the market when we started the project, so that we had to change the plan, and now we are using the Sunbot robot, the mobile robot, which you see on the right side, which is a head and the display and arms and all these kind of things, which was not used at home in the project, but we used it anyway in the lab in focus groups. So what are the areas tackled in the project? So it's a lot about health psychology, and how people are dealing with issues. Yeah, and we're dealing with effective and persuasive computing. So this is the areas we were trying to tackle in the project. So basically, here are some screenshots of the app. I will show you the app later via a screencast. Yeah, basically we have here the avatar, which has a speech in and output. So speech recognition and speech synthesis, and also as an authoritative, it can also navigate the app via the as usual, via the buttons. So we, after a very intensive phase with involving the end users in focus groups, we identified these areas that are targeted, so physical activity, emotional and mental support, mental health, social support, but also, and then we later on we split it up, the tasks, into retirement phase tasks and some which are dedicated to retirement, and some tasks which are not really related to retirement but more general. So everything is organized in tasks, and it's a tool which helps to plan these tasks and to track the performance of the tasks. So this is a list of tasks for the mental health. So you see there are many tasks which are coming from the field of positive psychology. Very similar is also the physical activity tasks, where you can plan your activities at your choice. So I will come back to that also later. So this is very short. This is the architecture. So it's a distributed system where we have a backend system where we integrate content from different sources from the project partners, and we have the UI layer with the app and the robot. I don't want to puzzle you too much with the technical details. So maybe more interesting what were the results of the trials and pre-trials. The trials are still running, actually, but we have performed also the pre-trials. So, so the people appreciated the notifications and the engagement for doing activities. So there are motivational messages and people get that if they have not done anything for a while, if they were not active physically or also cognitively. And yeah, they appreciated that they're able to keep track of the progress. And what else? Yeah, and what they also said that they want to keep control of what they do and what they don't want to do. So they don't want to be forced to do activities which they are not really want to do. Basically, these were the main findings, and we were, of course, respecting that and try to integrate all the feedbacks in the app. So we are currently running the trials and implementing the feedbacks, and basically that's it. And we want to extend the robot companion. So this is the screencast of the app, so I can go through it on the phone. So I will start with the physical activity.
Hello there, Jackberry. Seems you have a break day today. Still, you can revise your weekly plan or schedule an activity for today if you feel spontaneous and fit. Otherwise, relax, you need to be fit for the upcoming days.
So, yeah, I hope you heard a bit the avatar speaking. It's unfortunately we are the speaker of the phone and the microphone. There is the tool does not support audio. So, but this is was just the first one. I will skip it for the rest of the presentation. So basically, when the user starts with the physical activity, he starts setting his weekly goal, and the user can add an activity. Yeah, there are different kinds of sports which were collected from the feedbacks of the users. So very different things. Also ironing is here, strength training, tai chi, swimming, horse riding, whatever. So I have to say that we have running the trials in Italy and in the Netherlands and also in Austria. In Austria, were just the pre-trials performed, and though the activities which are now there, they are coming a bit from the culture from Italy and from the Netherlands. So, for instance, we also had snow shoveling there, but this is relevant in Austria, but not for other countries so much. However, if I choose Ahri here, so I can get some information here. What is it about? And then I can just edit
on which day.
And yeah, and just define how often I want to do it and how long I want to do it. Let's say 50 minutes. And then I have set the goal, and then the app will ask if I have performed it, how much time I have spent on it, and if I do not react anything, I will get a reminder or a question if I did or not. So this is for the mental health. This is very similar. We'll just go very short into it. This is the same as before, and I have here some activities related to the mental health. So, for instance, some exercise for creativity. So I can again here I can read the text here. It's about the self-expression and relaxing. So then I have it here, and it's the same as before. I see here the progress of the tasks which are open, and if I have done it, then
the task makeup.
I just say I have finished it, and then I see the progress that I have done it, and I can keep track of it. So this is very similar for the social well-being, and just for the retirement, just want to show what kind of things we have here. So we have, this is about information. This was also something which came from the end users as a request, that they want to have assistance. So about financial and about the financial situation, about the legislation around retirement and all these things. And this we tried to tackle here as far as we could in the project, because this depends very much on the national situation, on the insurance system, on the regulations in the countries and so on. This is more specific. Okay, so that's it basically from this perspective, and in the achievements, and I can fully keep track of what have been done so far. This is now a bit empty because I didn't use it that heavily in this demo phone. But one more thing is we also have a mood tracker where once a day the mood is asked, so that you can see how you feel. It's more about self-reflection. Yeah, that's it in short. I hope you got some impression. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Johannes. There are 2 questions. I think because we have 2 more minutes, you can shortly address them. They are asking if you can work in the app, actually Vicky is asking, without the companion robot, and if it is available in Dutch, and I will ask in other language as well.
It's about the robot or the app? I didn't fully understand.
The app,
the app is fully available in Italian, in German, in English, and in Dutch language.
Okay.
So it's fully translated into Dutch because we have end users in the Netherlands, but also in Italy and also for Austria. It's in English, of course, as well, as you see.
And can you use it without the companion robot, Johannes?
Yes. Yeah, the companion robot is basically it's more like a side project. So it's not, we can use fully without the robot. So all features are in the app. The robot is more a future topic for us. So we are not there to really use the robot in the user's home yet, but the app, of course, the app is fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. And we move to the next one, which is the MentorAge presented by Giuseppe Conti.
Hi, everybody. Let me just share my screen. Should be able to see my screen now.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be presenting you quite quickly MentorAge. Actually, just a note about our company. We are a spin-off of our mother company. That's actually our office where we are based. We were a business unit until a couple of years ago, and then we became an independent company. I'll go this presentation to show you MentorAge, which is actually part of VitaCare, which is a suite of 2 products. We actually have what we call MentorAge and what we call Vis-a-Vis, but I'm talking about only the first. Very briefly, what is MentorAge? Actually, it was born a few years ago when a nursing home had a problem to monitor people affected by Alzheimer's disease in a way that was not invasive. That means without wearing anything at all. So we ended up by creating a solution that uses an infrared sensor for, in fact, to monitor people. And what we actually do is that we use an infrared sensor, we place it on top of the bed, and this silently but constantly monitors the movement and the activity of the person, of the patient or guest within the nursing home. And whenever something happens, something worth communicating it to the nurse or to the staff, we fire up an alert. And this means, for instance, when the person is about to rise from the bed, when it's about to exit or leave the bed, when he or she is falling. In all those circumstances, an event is triggered, an alert is sent to the caregivers giver, and at that point they can decide to turn on the live feed from the sensor, which is an infrared image. That means that it works perfectly in pitch dark, and they can decide whether to intervene or not. And on top of this dimension, which is a kind of early warning, if you like, dimension, we also have a constant monitoring, so that we actually analyze the degree, the extent of movement the person is actually having during the day, so that we can understand if there are variations that, again, could probably tell clinical staff that something not quite good is going on. And let me show you a video very quickly of the way the system works. So you can see that when the person enters the bed, an alert is received. And again, when in this case he or she would rise up again, another alert would be fired. There we go. And keeps going. We have all these different conditions of risks. So again, living. Again, we have a problem, or we might have a problem. And of course, all these alerts can be customized by person and by time. Then again, back in bed. And then we have probably the mother of all problems, which is the fall. And at this point, you have two alerts, actually living and fall, which is quite okay. And as you can see, these actually are the images that I was mentioning. And here on the right-hand side, you can see plotted the amount of movement. This is just to, again, give you a feeling, a glimpse of the kind of sensitivity that we can get. For the time being, MentorAge is certified as medical device class 1 for analysis and tracking of movement. And we are also planning, and we hope that with this project, we will also able to push this further and extend the certification to class 2. That's what we usually, we are collecting actually a few use cases, and then through possible clinical studies, move to medical device class 2, well, addressing specific use cases. I'm not getting into the details of this. Okay, and that closes my presentation. I'll keep it very brief, and I'll make this available through the portal, Teams portal, for those who have who want any information from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe, for being so quick and respecting the time, and for giving us so interesting information. And we have some time for questions, if someone has a question for Giuseppe. I think not. So if anyone comes in your mind, please write it in the chat, and we will address it later. Thank you, Giuseppe, once more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now it's my turn to present you the captain. So let me share my screen. Sorry. No, this the two screens problem, sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So I will present you the Captain Coach. The Captain Coach is a spin-off of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki that came out of a project, the Captain project, that recently finished, actually 2 days ago, and we are very happy about that. So Captain has various components. Captain has AI movement analysis, AI motion analysis, speech analysis, user modeling, environmental modeling, and also behavior prediction. And I will explain one by one how and why Captain is doing all that. First, to just give you an overview of what Captain that's provided by Captain Coach is a small device that you can see. It's no larger than 3 or 4 mobile phones, step one on top of the other. It can use projections, speech, and also tangible interface for exchanging information with the user. And in a technical viewpoint, very quickly, it's based on Raspberry, and it has a Pico projector, and it has the embedded software components, of course, to work, and we come out to the final system. And here is the new Captain device you can see here, and also the microphone that we are using. We are using some of the self microphone and speakers to support this functionality, this voice functionality, and we can also deliver it all together as a company where it's needed. So what Captain exactly can do? Captain, through the camera that it has, it can detect the position inside the house, and so it's placed in different rooms. It's small enough to be placed in various rooms and can detect the position. Captain can also detect body movements and react accordingly because it can detect the skeleton from the camera, so it can infer that there is a person that is moving there, and also based on the place that the skeleton is to infer that the movement is being done. As we said before, Captain can also provide information using voice, but also can understand the speech. So we use speech recognition and speech generation. And this is done, we try to do that basically in the device and not in the with an offline solution and not an online one to respect the GDPR. But if this is not recognized, we are also using Google text-to-speech and speech-to-text for our prototype. Captain can also recognize emotions based on facial expressions to make decisions about how it will progress. And also Captain can project information in any surface whenever and wherever is needed. And here in the picture you can understand the size. This is a very small microphone and speaker. And here is the Captain device with the camera on top and the projection in the wall. And how this is all orchestrated. Captain Coach has the idea of setting goals, delivering the coaching for achieving the goals, getting some feedbacks on the way, and also adapt the plan accordingly for the user. And all this is created in the idea of a plugin marketplace in which every company can create a new plugin with a new smart goal on every dimension that we think fits best for the user, and in a specific format that Captain can read, in order to provide it through all the interfaces that Captain is giving to the user. And it's the time for a small demo. I hope that you can hear. Here we will see how the person can set a goal with Captain.
Do you want to have a coffee session now? Yes, I would love to.
You can see here what is presented.
Yes, please. Select a goal category. Number 2.
as you can see, we try to have simple screens so that the user do not find it very difficult to use.
Goal number 2. Keep in touch with relatives and friends.
Here it gives some information about what the this goal is about.
Next page.
And here are some basic interaction keywords.
Consult your doctor if you have any of the following conditions or concerns.
And also, if I go quickly, you can see also some interventions that Captain has. So, for example, here is a quiz that is educational, and we also have some recommendations of what the user can do. So it provides some motivations, but also games with videos to be more motivating. I think that's all from my side. So if you have any questions, because we have some time.
In which languages is it available, Despoina, since we're all in other speaking native language?
Yeah, it's English, Italian, Spanish, and Greek.
Okay, thank you.
The good thing is that it can be easily translated, but of course it's an overhead, so I wouldn't propose that. But in any case, it's all the information is there to be translated.
Okay.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we can jump to our next speaker, which is Evangelia Romanopoulou, a colleague from AUTH, who will present the health and social care ecosystem of long-lasting memories care.
Hello.
Hello, Evangelia.
Hello.
I cannot share my screen. I don't know, something loading.
We cannot see something.
Should I have permissions for sharing my screen or not?
There's no permission. There is just a share content button next to the microphone.
Doesn't work, yes, but it doesn't work.
Do you want maybe to send the presentation here so that I can share it?
Yeah. I don't see any kind of chat here, so I will upload it via email. Can I?
Yes.
Okay.
In the meantime, if Rosa is still available, and as we have some time now, if you want to answer to Nico's question.
Can I know Nico's question? Because I don't have, even now, I don't have access to the chat, so I can't see the question, sorry.
I can read it, or
Yes.
if Nico is here.
Yeah, hello Rosa, nice job. I was wondering if you use it for research purposes with an inbuilt analysis, like is the system collecting data, and if you have some default schedule for comparing new results with older results that you have already analyzed?
I don't know if I understood the question. We have a database with all the results on the use in the last years, even different versions of Gradior. And this database is with the results from INTRAS and results from another 4,000 centers that are using these. But of course, this is our GDPR compliant. So we do have the database with the results, but we don't know who is and in which center it is doing the rehabilitation. So these last versions of Gradior were also integrated in different European projects. So depending on the objective of the project and the final integrated solution, there were different pieces of information from Gradior being analyzed in different studies. But I'm not the person that can say exactly, you know, so I know that there are kinds of information on the correct answers, the time for answering, averages, and a kind of follow-up of the evolving situation of the patient. But there are other types of data, even in terms of the patient profile, because in that management platform, we can also put some information on the other assessment results. So the professional has a place where most of the data from the patient is there, quickly accessible if they have a role to access that specific patient data. So I don't know if I
might ask you directly some more questions, but thank you very much.
Yes, you can send me an email, okay?
Yeah, great, thank you.
Thank you both. Evangelia, are we okay? Because I saw you.
Not yet. Not yet.
Do you want to move on
to
with the next presenter and we try again after that?
Yes, if we can, yes.
Thank you.
Despoina, can I also ask Rosa in which languages the Gradior Active is available?
For the moment, it's just a prototype, as I mentioned. It's just in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But the Gradior Cognitive was also being translated for Italian, but I can't be sure the percentage of translation, and to even Serbia, but Ibrium, sorry. But this is not fitting our consortium anyway. And the English version was mostly done, but need some review.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Well, next is virtual reality mirror therapy by Bert, Bonroy or Bonroy, I don't know.
You can say both.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. So, okay, I think you see now my presentation.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, this what I present here is part of a research that we do in Belgium. It's called, the practice called immersive care, where we develop in some use cases immersive technology to enrich the care. One of these use cases that we developed is a case for rehabilitation, and more specific for a mirror therapy, what can be used as by an amputee to reduce phantom pains, but also it will be used after a stroke for the arm, and that is the case that we focusing on to rehabilitate arm functions. Here I showed some pictures of what the mirror therapy is, and that is, as you see, the patient has to look in the mirror. He performs some activities with the arm that is not affected. He imagined that he is doing, or she is doing, with the affected arm. That's a therapy that is done during the rehabilitation after a stroke or in other pathologies. We developed a visual reality variant of virtual reality mirror therapy together with the professionals and a software developer. And there we focused on, what also for the patients is important, is performing some activities of daily living, like in kitchen. We make a virtual environment of a kitchen where they can perform activities like cutting vegetables or making a soup in a pot. Also, to have another location, there will be a place outside where they can pick some fruit from the trees and put it in a basket. So that makes the activities of daily living in a visual reality also useful, but in the other way, they're also performing some very interesting rehabilitation activities. Here I show you the virtual reality. Also, this one is in Dutch, as it was developed for a Dutch audience. There's little text that they have to do, and that is mainly the defining which arm they is affected. So they have to click on which arm and which exercise they have. What you see now is that the arm is the affected one. So they're performing it with, here in this case, the activity with the right arm and hand. It's tracked by the VR setup, and you see it on the left side. Now here there's an activity of picking up the apples and put it in the basket. To have it a bit more attractive, you can also set some time that you see how many you do in a certain time. Maybe if I go a bit further, so now you're making some nice soup. You also can here set some time that and start the activity. And now you can see also that it's for the patients hard to be able to be active in this area. If they go outside, it's for them very tough to keep all the vegetables in the foreseen place. Also here, cutting some Vegetables is also one of the things, and of course here our vegetable is still growing while it is cutting. But also here it's now it looks a very easy task, but if you do it, it's quite complicated and very well demanding for the patient, but it's a very good rehabilitation activity. And it is outside. So if you see recognize maybe the pictures that was used from the developers to make the environment also looking nice. Also mentioning this is a prototype, so it's not a real commercial software or application. There still need to be something made to have a commercial one. And also here, yeah, the further the vegetables are or fruit is, the heavier task they have to perform. It's also I show you here when one of the patients is performing this. Here you see that the left arm is affected, and they perform now the activities with the right arm, but they see it like it's doing with the left arm. And also, yeah, there needs some extra help from the therapists to guide the patients through the sessions. So, if there are any questions.
Are the activities done with some instructions, or the instructions are given by the facilitator?
Because they are limited in activities, or the instructions are given here by the professionals, the healthcare professionals. They know what they have to do. Of course, yeah, the activities are also more or less self-explaining, but they know that which activity, what they have to perform. Like also, yeah, it's if the cutting of the vegetables, they know that they have to pick the knife and then start cutting. It's more or less developed that it's intuitive, but I think, and also because of due to the group, the patient group that we are focusing, it's quite demanding also to do it in a virtual reality environment. There is for sure in the beginning some assistance needing of someone of the professional or the someone helping the patient to go through these exercises.
Thank you. And one more question from my side. Is this for a specific VR headset, or because I'm not expert in that, so can it be compatible with all the headsets available?
No, I see also Sylvie here is she is the lead of this project. I think it's mainly focused on the Oculus headset.
Thank you.
Because also, yeah, this because there in this case we use the hand tracking facility of the VR headset, and that's of course important to have this.
Yes, thank you, Bert. If I may add, I think the application was created by the company One Bonsai for Oculus Quest 1, but we have used it also on an Oculus Quest 2. So it works on these two versions. So also on the Quest 2.
Thank you. Any more questions from other partners? I think no. So thank you both for the nice presentation. I think, Evangelia, you're okay now with the sharing, so we can continue with you. We cannot hear you now. I cannot hear you. I don't know if anyone else can hear.
No.
Evangelia, can you hear us? We cannot hear you. I see now that you're muted. I don't know if that's... No, you're not. Maybe we jump in the next, or you want to try something? We cannot hear you.
You know, if Vicky is connected, I don't know if Vicky, if you would like to. Otherwise, I would say that we move to the discussion.
We have one more presentation, Evdokimos.
To the next presentation then.
Yeah. We have one more, which is from Eva Kehayia, who's going to present 2 videos about what they are doing in Montreal. So, Eva, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I've actually, given what's going on with the previous presentation, I sent you everything just in case I cannot share content. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Despoina, you have my PowerPoint and the video that I would like to share.
I have the videos actually, not the PowerPoint, but
I just sent you an email with
okay,
that.
Good.
If you don't mind sharing, because I'm having difficulty sharing my screen.
Yeah, I will do it.
Thank you.
Just give me one moment. It's opening. Okay. So here we are.
Perfect. Wonderful. So what I will be presenting today, it's not commercialized projects, it's or tools or assessments, but rather, next slide, please. I will be presenting research that is addressing whose goal is to optimize the functional capacity, performance, participation, and social inclusion of people living with physical disabilities through research in the domains of biomedical and psychosocial rehabilitation. This also happens to be the main mission and vision of our research center. Next, please. So our research, just giving you a context within which the video that I will present later happens. So we focus on stroke, traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injury, musculoskeletal conditions, and healthy aging. And our research and eventual products aim at inpatients and outpatients. So we recruit from inpatient clinics and outpatient clinics. We start with intensive rehabilitation and move towards reintegration in the community. So as far as the different work packages are concerned, we go from WP5 to 6 to 7. Next, please. Now, in September, I heard that there will be another techno presentation, and there we will be able to present more products of our research, and these products come from our labs in locomotor training and with virtual environments, avatar-based feedback, cardio training programs for stroke. Next, please. Audiovisual proprioceptive virtual reality for mobility and communication, the use of exergames. I will be presenting on walking and reading in virtual environments, and also research done directly in the environment and the resulting applications from this research. So today I will be speaking specifically about walking with WOW, WOW being Words in the World, a big research partnership initiative. Next, please. Given that our goal is always the person in rehabilitation. But before we can do something with this person in rehabilitation, let's say take them out in the community and get them to reintegrate and do their daily life activities, we need to have a better sense of what happens in healthy aging. So we always start with control and healthy aging, and then move into the rehabilitation context. So. Daily activities present numerous situations within which walking is done, and it's done concurrently with other activities. So, for example, reading signs. Next, please. Using a cell phone and traffic, just going through regular walking activities that includes paying attention to traffic signals. So we're definitely walking and doing either dual tasking or multitasking. Next, please. So evaluating how healthy individuals engage in gait adaptation while performing lexical or visual tasks will help us better understand challenges faced by clinical populations, for example, stroke. So what we're doing is we're exploring language processing in a real world context. So, for example, walking in a street, using virtual reality as an ecological controlled and safe tool to investigate the dual tasking and multitasking abilities of healthy older and younger adults. So we have walking, then we have lexicality judgments. Please press next. And visual processing. Next, please. And during this visual processing, what we're also doing is we're adding, and that's where the multitasking comes in, paying attention to either a light, could be a traffic light, or some kind of other signal. Next, please. So our aims are to create an ecological paradigm using immersive virtual reality technology and a self-paced treadmill for the investigation of cognitive motor interactions of visual and word processing while walking. And of course, we examine whether the speed and or accuracy of making lexicality judgments as well as walking speed are affected in a dual task or multitask condition compared to a single task condition. And next, and here you would go into the video. So here, what I'm going to show you now is the actual task where a person is fitted, and this is actually what I didn't say, is that this is done in collaboration with Joyce Fang, who is on this in this meeting, Nomi Vengron, who is our postdoctoral student, Nancy Azevedo, another postdoctoral fellow, and Gonya Yarema from the University of Montreal. So here, Nomi is fitted with sensors that are monitoring her gait, speed, and changing gait. At the same time, she's walking in the virtual environment that you're seeing, looking at words, just like we would do as we're looking at signs. And now, could you show the next one, please? And here, added to the word, she's getting this other distractor that is something that happens all the time when we walk. We have numerous distractors. So walking, doing lexicality judgments, and of course, to what extent the lexicality judgment or walking are affected by the presence of a third distractor. So looking at cognitive control, motor control, and lexicality judgments. Now, once we have a better sense of what happens with healthy aging and older adults, we will start working with individuals with stroke and trying to disentangle difficulties that they may face as they are dual or multitasking in a real world environment. Ultimately, all of this will be taken into a real environment that is outside of VR. The other thing we are adding to this particular experiment at the moment is eye tracking, and essentially looking at how what happens with ocular control, and as the person is actually looking at the words and seeing the additional visual distractors. So this is it for now. Happy to take questions if there are, and more technology demonstrations to come in the fall.
Thank you very much, Eva. Are there any questions? I think no. Am I allowed to upload your presentation in Teams and the video?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Thank you. Good.
The presentation that Eva gave was very useful, and I think this is really an intervention that could be matched with Work Package 5, Eva. So maybe let's discuss this at our next meeting on Tuesday. But
of course,
yeah.
So yes, when I was asked where does it fit, it actually starts in Work Package 5, and because it is within a rehab environment, and the ultimate goal is rehab, but of course it moves through Work Package 6 to 7.
I think it's a nice case for VITALISE. So yeah, looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evangelia, do you want to make another try?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks God. I will try to use her screen again. So, do you see my screen?
Yes, we see you, we hear you, and we see your screen, so everything's
okay.
fine.
I really apologize for the any problems that you cured. So I'm Eva Kehayia. I am research associate of the medical lab of medical physics. So I will try to present you the health and social care ecosystem. Health and social care ecosystem, long-lasting memories. LLM care has been exploited as an expansion of LLM-funded project, and it is a certified ICT platform that combines state-of-the-art mental exercises with physical activity through an assisted living environment. This technological solution is proven that can work against cognitive deterioration of vulnerable groups of people, as it provides daily monitoring and improves the quality of life through extending the time of autonomous and independent living. So it incorporates two interoperable components. The first is the physical training component, WebFit for All. Is a web-based application that uses modern controller for healthcare monitoring and game-based exercises and interventions. It offers specific exercises within an engaging game environment, aiming at promoting physical exercise protocol adherence. I will try to show you a video. So can you see the video without sound?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. So the user can perform the whole protocol that is consisted of different kind of exercises, aerobic exercises, other that can enhance the muscles of upper or lower body. He or she can perform balance exercise with his or her body by collecting apples or by putting by playing golf and trying to put the ball into the hole in order to collect as many balls as possible. This is a very exciting exercise. Here he's trying to collect as many feces as possible. And once he or he perform properly the exercise, there are pieces of a puzzle that he or she trying to collect in order to complete the puzzle. This is the setting. And the second part is the cognitive training component. That is a specialized software designed to support cognitive exercises that was developed by the Posit Science. It is a fully personalized and adaptable cognitive training platform, and it is based on neuroaesthetic enhancement and brain plasticity, providing the opportunity to speed up and sharpen auditory and visual processing of the brain. Let me show you again the video of the second part. So this is the platform. You have to log in with specific credentials. This is a fully personalized training program. So you have to select among different kind of training exercises. So here you have to choose no or yes button if the color is the same. So yes if the color is the same, no it doesn't. Here you have to choose the different bird among others. So until now, the LLM Care network consists of different kind of stakeholders exploited the LLM Care system, such as local government authorities, public or daycare centers, healthcare professionals that have been trained in order to use properly the LLM Care system, physical education trainers, physiotherapists, nurses, therapists, or other health care specialties, and individuals. I would like to mention that LLM Care has been awarded as a 2-star transnational reference site within the European Innovation Partnership of Active and Healthy Aging, ENoLL, due to its excellence in developing, adopting, and scaling up innovative practices on active and healthy aging since 2019 by focusing on active involvement of different stakeholders in co-creation, co-development and pilots processes. We are trying to create a wide network of private and public stakeholders all over Greece and Cyprus by establishing strong collaboration with daily care and rehabilitation centers, residential home, municipality centers, and numerous individual users. Our research group composed of scientific experts with diverse experiences and areas of expertise in order to explore shifting paradigms in older adults and vulnerable groups of people healthcare, and engaging with citizens that ensures that new knowledge leads to innovative solutions and ones that matters to people. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Eva Kehayia. Are there any questions? Specifically for Eva Kehayia or in general that you would like to address? I think no. So, Evdokimos, do you want to make a last comment?
Oh, just that I'm happy with all these technologies for the background light or darkness. And just to let you know that if there's no objection, we would like to upload this the recording of today to the YouTube channel of VITALISE. So please, if you have any objections, let us know. Thank you all. We keep in touch, and thank you for being so active in all these activities.
Thank you. Again, thank you all. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Weekend.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.